Scribes and Pharisees was an office in Israel, man.
Right.
It doesn't mean that they were wicked. You had scribes and Pharisees that were wicked. Then you had righteous. You had scribes and Pharisees that believed.
That's right.
Paul said that he was a Pharisee.
That's right.
As touching the law, this is his own words. As touching the law, a Pharisee.
Right.
So a lot of these guys, like I said, you guys listen to these other groups, you're going to get caught out there.
Gamaliel, another example. Nicodemus.
Yeah, Gamaliel was a teacher of the law that raised up Paul to be a Pharisee, man.
Yeah.
And he spoke up in behalf of the apostles.
Yep.
So was Gamaliel a wicked Israelite? No.
Nope. But neither Titus, who was with me, being a Greek, was compelled to be circumcised.
Right, a Greek meaning a Israelite, a Hellenized Israelite.
Was compelled to be circumcised, and that because of false brethren unawares brought in, who came in privately to spy out our liberty, which we have in Yahushai.
And that was one of the matters why Paul went to Jerusalem. One of those matters to discuss was circumcision, fleshly circumcision, which goes back to the law.
That they might bring us into bondage, to whom we gave place by subjection, no, not for an hour, that the truth of the gospel might continue with you. But of these who seem to be somewhat, whatsoever they were, it maketh no matter to me. The Most High accepteth no man's person. For they who seem to be somewhat in our conference added nothing to me. But contrariwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me, as the gospel of the circumcision was unto Peter, for he that wrought effectually in Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was
the circumcision were the Jews that grew up in Jerusalem, all right, that kept the laws. Go ahead.
The same was mighty in me toward the Gentiles.
Israelite foreigners. We got to keep saying that because you got these simple-minded souls out there.
Yes, simple-minded souls. It says, and when James, Cephas, and John, who seemed to be pillars, perceived the grace that was given unto me.
Yeah, Cephas, that was Peter, another name for Peter. So it's Peter, James, and John.
They gave to me and Barnabas the right hands of fellowship, that they should go unto the heathen. That we should go unto the heathen, Israelite foreigners, and they unto the circumcision, the Jews. Only they would that we should remember the poor, the same which I also was forward to do. But when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face, because he was to be blamed. For before that certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles. But when they were come...
Israelite foreigners. In other words, he was a Jew. He wore the fringes, the long garments. He had the beard on his face. He was circumcised. And he ate with Israelites that were dressed in the Greek and Roman regalia. None of them were circumcised. All right? They had smooth faces. Yep. Some of them had bald heads. You know? Right. Some of them might have had marks on them because you had the fraternities.
Yep.
So some of them could have had tattoos on them.
Yep. But when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the circumcision. And the other...
Right, the Jews. In other words, he was with them. He was comfortable with them. He was eating with them. Then when the Jews came in, the circumcision came in, he said, let me get away from him. He was being a hypocrite, man.
Yep.
Now, can you be a man of the Lord and be a hypocrite? Yeah. Yep. This is the point of it. Because we're human. He went off.
Right.
And Paul checked him for it.
Right. And
see, that's why it's important. See, the Spirit led us to go into these New Testament scriptures, going book by book, so you can get the understanding. Yeah, of course. Now, this is not all exciting, you know. Right. You might not get into it like when we get into the white man getting his ass whipped and, this and that, and you black women ain't shit and all that. We're getting into the actual scriptures so you can understand them. That's why there's so much confusion out there.
The bread and butter.
Right, the bread and butter,
Yep. That's right.
Right. It says, and the other Jews dissembled likewise with him, insomuch that Barnabas also was carried away with their dissimulation.
Another word for dissimulation, we looked it up, is a hypocrisy.
But when I saw that they walked not uprightly according to the truth of the gospel, I said unto Peter before them all, If thou, being a Jew, livest after the manner of Gentiles, and not as do the Jews, why compellest thou the Gentiles to live as do the Jews? We who are Jews by nature, and not sinners of the Gentiles, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Yahushua. Even we have believed in Yahushua, that we might be justified by the faith of Yahushua, and not by the works of the law.
Right, that's what Paul said.
Right.
That's what Paul said. So did Paul glorify in the law? He just made that statement that he don't glorify in the law. Right. He's not glorified by keeping the law.
Right.
But did he keep the law?
Yes.
Yes, he kept the law. But he's justified by faith.
Yep, that's it.
There's nowhere where Paul said not to keep the law. There's nowhere in that verse where he said not to keep it.
For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. But if while we seek to be justified by Yahushua, we ourselves also are found sinners, is therefore Yahushua the minister of sin?
How could you be found a sinner when sin is transgression of the law? So it all goes back to the law.
The Most High forbid. For if I build again the things which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. For I through the law am dead to the law.
Right. Read that again, please.
It says, for if I build again the things which I destroyed.
What did he destroy? The fact at one point he justified himself in keeping the law. And he said that he was perfect in keeping the law. Right. He was dead serious about keeping that law. And he figured he was going to be a part of the kingdom by keeping the law.
Right.
But when the Lord, Yahushua, knocked him off the horse and blinded him for 3 days and explained that whole scenario, then he understood it wasn't about the law.
Right.
So basically he said, the hell with the law. The law really don't mean nothing. But at the same time, he kept that law.
Right. For if I build again the things which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor.
Matter of fact, give me that one in, what's that, in Philippians 1? You know what I want? A Hebrew of the Hebrews as touching the law.
Okay.
Yeah, because the bottom line is the law don't make you perfect. The belief in Yahushua makes you perfect. Not the law. The law can't bring you to perfection. But the belief in Yahushua is what brings us to perfection.
You wanted the one with it says Hebrew of the Hebrews?
Yeah, I thought it was a Philippians.
Yeah, Philippians 3.
I'm sorry, Philippians 3.
3 and 4. Though I might also have confidence in the flesh, if any other man thinketh that he hath whereof he might trust in the flesh, I more. Circumcised the 8th day.
The law.
Of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of the Hebrews. As touching the law, a Pharisee. Concerning zeal, persecuting the church. Touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless.
Hold on, read that again.
Concerning zeal, persecuting the church. Touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless.
You know what that meant? They couldn't catch him breaking any law.
Yep. But when things were gained to me, those I counted lost for Yahushua.
The fact that he kept the law so perfect, because he was sincere, he said that me keeping the law perfect didn't mean anything. Right. He put it to the side to gain the Lord, Yahushua. Go ahead.
Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahushua my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win Yahushua.
The fact that he kept the law perfectly, he said blameless. As touching the law blameless. He put that all to the side. He said, that's shit.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And be found in him, not having mine own righteousness, which is of the law.
Yeah. Even though he was perfect, there was no fault in him. He said that didn't mean anything.
Right. Yeah. But that which is through the faith of Yahushua, the righteousness which is of the Most High by faith. All right.
Yeah, because a guy that always boasts about the law, he would be having his own righteousness. And you just heard what Paul said, not having mine own righteousness, but the righteousness of faith in Yahushua.
Back in Galatians 2 and 18. For if I build again the things which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. For I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live unto the Most High. I am crucified with Yahushua, nevertheless I live. Yet not I, but Yahushua liveth in me.
And that's a good opportunity for us, because we can't keep the law perfect in this society. So that's a good opportunity for us. We're not saying not to keep the law, but in reality, we can't keep the law perfect. And the Most High requires what? Perfection. But we can't do it in this society, in this captivity.
It says, and the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of the Most High, who loved me and gave himself for me. I do not frustrate the grace of the Most High. For if righteousness come by the law, then Yahushua is dead in vain. Galatians 4 and 1. Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all, but is under tutors and governors unto the time appointed of the Father. Even so we, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world. But when the fullness of the time was come, the Most High sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law.
In other words, there was a sexual act that took place.
Yeah, that's right.
There was a seed. There was a natural cycle of a woman having a child. There has to be a seed, a physical seed, a sperma, so you can understand.